Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. Recently, I just saw Scream 2022. I saw it last weekend, and here I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. It's been a little while since I was supposed to see it. I was going to see it about a month ago, but then I got sick, so I didn't go see it. Not COVID, I think it was just like a stomach bug or something. So I saw it last weekend. Here I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm not going to rank the Scream movies for a little while because I have a ton of Batman content to get out. But go check out my Scream playlist. And without further ado, let's get started. What this movie's about. This movie's about sort of the 25 years after the first film, a new Ghostface killer strikes, taking place in the same town as the first, in Woodsboro, California. I think that's made up. I don't see it on the map over there. Granted, it's kind of far away. Then hijinks ensue because you have these new group of teenagers, and one of them has sort of a lead back to the first film. I'm not gonna spoil anything on what that is. And then at the beginning of the movie, the person in the opening scene, the person that's in it doesn't actually get killed. She goes to the hospital, and then sort of hijinks ensue from there. Now you have the good, and starting off the good, overall, what this movie does pretty well is sort of go back to the first one and sort of go back on it. I think, spoiler alert, with the main character of Sam be Billy Loomis's daughter. I think that was a very interesting plot line to put in there. Made for some nice tension between Sam and her sister Tara, and made for a nice plot to go down and make this movie a bit more unique. Where like Scream 4, I don't think it felt like that unique, because I don't think they did enough to play on the sort of remake side of horror. But this one, I think, plays on the reboot side, like with movies like Halloween 2018, Saw 8 to an extent, like those kind of movies. And I think that's actually pretty cool. And I think it plays into this stuff better than both Scream 4 and Scream 3 did. And the idea of having there be a stab aid that's nothing like the other ones, it's kind of fun, to be honest. And overall, I think a lot of these notes pretty much work. And I think the main character of Sam, she was in, I think, the same actor or actress. I think she was in The Heights. And then I think all the cast of characters, I don't think they're as good as the cast of characters in the fourth film, for example, because I think whatever the person that plays Kirby, I thought she was fantastic. And overall, I think a lot in Emma Roberts, you also got her in it. And I thought those characters I thought were just a bit better than the ones in this film. So, but still, I think all the characters are pretty good for the most part. There's no character that I kind of hated. And I sort of like the idea of having Randy's niece and nephew kind of become me in there as sort of the horror movie nerds. I think there's some funny scenes with the way they honor him. And overall, I think all these notes work for me. I don't think it's perfect. I have my issues. I think this one's probably the most gory of all of these. Like, you legit have scenes where like a person's hand gets stabbed, someone gets, I think, chopped through the arm or something. Like, it's really pretty violent. The fourth one I don't even think was this violent. I actually think the fourth one is PG-13. I could be wrong about that. But overall, I think those notes, all that aside, I think the story here worked a bit better than the Scream 4 did. I have my issues with the end and the whole killer review, but I'll go into that a bit later. And I think I wish Sidney Prescott was prominent. I think they finally used Dewey in the right way, where they bring him back. He's now retired, and doesn't want to be the hero, but he has to be the hero. Way he gets killed off. A spoiler alert. I have issues with that, but I'll talk about that later. Again, the cast of characters are good. I think Tara's a good character, Sam's a good character, Richie's a pretty good character, Amber's okay, I guess. Then you have all the other characters, which are all pretty good. And overall, I had a good time with this one. And I don't think it overexceeded my expectations. Did it meet my expectations? I'd say so. I don't think it disappointed me. And this was on my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2022. You can go check that video out. And it was near the bottom, I think, of that list. I think it was like number 9 or something. And but I was still excited for it. I saw this one later than I expected. I wish I saw it a little bit earlier. But still, I had a great time with this one when I saw it at home. And I'm gonna rewatch both Scream 5 and Scream 4 before I rank the Scream movies because I've only seen them once. I've seen all the other ones a decent amount of times. Now I'm getting them mixed up. As I said earlier, I think Dewey was used really nicely as sort of bringing him back to do something good because I don't feel like he's been sort of a goofy character. This time they actually make him more of a serious character. And then this movie, but then you have Gale Weathers and then Sidney Prescott, which I feel like they're just thrown in there. Especially Gale Weathers. Like, especially Sidney Prescott, because I don't think Gale had really anything to do in this movie, except really just like in one scene. But I think the whole point of bringing them back was just their whole revenge storyline. It worked. I don't think I was really disappointed, but both Sidney didn't have anything to do with anything until the end of the movie. But I think I think with Dewey's death, it gives Sidney and Gale more of a reason to come back. Where in the first one or the fourth one, it's just her. She lives in Woodsboro. This time, I think they bring her back because Dewey just died, and I thought that was an interesting plot to put in there. By the way, Nev Campbell aged really well, and overall, I think all of that just pretty much worked for me. I don't think it's perfect. I think the scenes with Sidney Prescott were good. I just wish she was utilized a bit more. Like, I don't think she needed to be as utilized as she was in Scream 4, but still, I think she could have just done a little bit more. Now you have The Bad, and The Bad is completely spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, you can just skip over this. I'll put a timestamp. I probably won't, but still. And so, starting things off, I think the main thing I just didn't care for about this movie, I was not a fan of the killer reveals. Actually, I'll fact check myself. I didn't mind the killer reveals themselves, but like I literally figured that out, the killers out right away. First one, Amber. That was the first one. I don't think she was a good killer because she seemed like an idiot. She literally got burned alive. Somehow came back alive. And then like literally like she had a little, and then you figure out there's a little Billy Loomis looking character at the beginning, and then the Ghostface killed her off. I knew it was between one of the twins and Amber. I was pretty sure about Amber because Amber's kind of easy to figure out because she always had sort of a very straight face the entire time throughout the movie, and also at the beginning I sort of figured it out because just like on Scream 4, we sort of played throughout the game, and then she literally she survived somehow. She survived because the other Ghostface wouldn't kill her, obviously. So I think it's nice because I think this one makes it more obvious that there's two killers, which same with Scream 4. I think each one kind of makes it more obvious, except for Scream 3, which is just one killer. And I actually think that works for a change. And I think this is the first time where I think it would have been cool if Dewey killed one of the Ghostface, and then another one just popped up out of nowhere. And then, for example, spoiler alert, maybe Richie went away, and then he popped up out of nowhere, I think. So, and then killed Dewey, because there's two Ghostface killers. So before you kill them, because Amber would have been stabbed to a ton of bullet holes, I think, in the chest. So what you do, just reveal the mask, and then it's her. And then you go into Dewey, and then later you kill him off somewhere in the movie. I don't think maybe at the hospital, maybe not at the hospital, I don't know. And then you also have Richie, which he's not as hard to figure out as easy, but like once I got to I feel like there was one scene where I was like, maybe it's Richie, and then I was like, maybe it's not, and then I was just like, I don't know how. I think this will play much better on rewatch. I think some of these movies, like Scream 2, I think plays better on rewatch once you know who the killer is. Same with Scream 5. I think Scream 5 will do the exact same. Scream 3, Scream 1 is just as good. I don't know, Scream 4, we'll see what happens. So, in this one, like, I sort of figured out Richie throughout that hospital scene, and he sort of has like a little fun killer vibe to it, and I think I kind of wish it was just it was one of the teenagers that was the killer. And of all the times, this is probably one of the more realistic Scream movies, well, not being that much realistic at all, at least with the good characters, because a lot of them, like, for example, one of the twins, both twins actually survive, and then they get hospitalized, and then I think Tara survived somehow, even though she literally got stabbed through the hand. I'm not going to show that effect, of course. Anyway, so, yeah, I still actually quite enjoyed this one. For this movie's final score, I'm going to give it like an 8.3 out of 10. I don't really know where, between Scream 4, Scream 5, and Scream 2, they're all kind of tied. I don't think I'm going to rewatch all three. I think I'm definitely going to rewatch Scream 4, and I'm probably going to rewatch Scream 5 as well. think it's free on Paramount Plus. So I'm gonna rank the Scream movies once I come back from Steamboat, which is on. Well, I think I leave 18, 19. I think I come back the 21st, so 22nd, I think. And I will be editing some videos throughout, but I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to wait till I come back. Probably my Karate Kid Karate Kid content might come out throughout that time. I'm going to make a couple videos, we'll see. And then once I figure out where Daredevil's going, I'm going to watch that. But going back to Scream 5, I thought it was a great comeback for the franchise. And I thought it was actually just a pretty great movie for the most part. Very enjoyable. I was always at the edge of my seat, but I just wish they made I think the killer reveals were just too easy to figure out. That's my take. Tell me what you think about this one in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my content below. Go check out my Batman playlist. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.